What's going on, guys? E-HeroesForged coming at y'all with another discussion type video today. Today, I want to touch on some sour topics like toxic Yu-Gi-Oh players, which, in my opinion, the most toxic you can get is slow playing. There is nothing worse when you hit full combo and you OTK within 5 minutes of the first round, and then the next two games just get drug out all the way to the finish line, and your opponent attacks you for 200 life points, and then you lose the game. I do feel that the game needs to be fixed. I don't know how you fix it, and like I made the complaint, but I don't really have a solution to fix it. Um, I just don't think what we're doing is necessarily right. Going into time, and then okay, I have more life points, you have less life points, so I win. Like I get the concept of it, but I don't agree with how people are getting there. Like you're seeing, like if you look up at the clock and you see, a minute and a half left and you're still siding and you're going to pick to go first. And then you just slap something on the board, take the life points. Your opponent doesn't even get a chance to respond. To me, that's not right. And I do kind of compare it to a few years with the overtime rule in like football. The first person to score wins. Well, if the first team that wins the coin toss, gets the ball first and they score and win, like how's that fair? Like I know if you want fair, go to the festival, whatever. But I do think I speak for the majority of Yu-Gi-Oh players that slow playing is it's not right, and I don't think it's sportsmanlike. I don't. I truly think it's toxic. I don't like people that do it. We have a couple people that have come along at our locals here and there, and they've done it. We had one this past locals that did it. I know a buddy of mine is frustrated with it. Like it kind of ruins the confidence of the match. Like it feels like you didn't have fun. And I strongly believe that Konami needs to improve on things like that. And I do think players should speak up. Like I feel like players are, um, how do you say, like they try to be respectful to other players, and you really should. But I do think if they're stepping out of line, you need to say something. Like it's one thing if like I'm a hero player, so if someone's never played heroes before and they're like, "Hey man, what does this do? Hey, what does that do?" I don't think that's slow playing in my opinion because they are generally interested in the deck. I know I ask all the time, "Hey man, what's that do?" I am not a Yu-Gi-Oh savant, and I won't pretend that I am. Even I've played Snake Eyes 1,000 times. I still ask what certain things do because I'm just not sure, and that's okay. But for someone to read their own cards 1,000 times, I do believe if you're there playing a certain deck, you should know what you're playing. There's no reason for me to have to teach you how to play the deck that you brought. And there's really no reason for you to sit there and read every single card. It's one thing if you want to make sure, like I'm all for it. Like I get it. Read your cards. Make sure you're making the right play. I get the whole thinking thing. I still don't like that. I still frustrating to me, in my opinion. But if you need to read your cards to make sure you're doing something right, that's fine. But don't sit there and as we get close to time, hey, let me read this, and then sit there and read it for 2 minutes. Like I get most of the people that we play cards with may not have gotten out of high school or may have just gotten past high school, but there's no reason for the fundamentals of reading to take that long. You know, I had that experience in a few locals a while back, a few months ago, and it was probably the most miserable Yu-Gi-Oh I've ever played. Sitting there, duel after duel, not just like in that one turn, duel after duel, turn after turn, card after card. I am sitting there waiting on a player to read his own cards. And I have to sit there while you're thinking, like just make your combo. If you misplay, it's part of the game. I do it all the time. And if you want to say, well, that's selfish of me to want them to hurry, fine. That's my opinion. Like I strongly believe in the fundamentals of the game, and I think if you are slow playing your opponent, you are disgracing the game that we all love so much. And if you have an issue with that, then kick rocks. Like that's my true opinion of it. You can see the frustration, and I feel like I speak for a majority when I express that. There's no reason that slow playing should be a part of essentially a kid's game. It ruins the anime game that we all grew up watching. Like There's no other way to really go around it. That's my opinion on that toxic trait. I would say the other one would be like, people smelling bad. Um, you got people like me who film, and you got people that take maybe a little advantage of it because they're like, hey, let me get this angle. Hey, let me get this angle. And they're taking up time. I can see those frustrations, but I do think for me, the most toxic player in the game isn't one that stinks. It's one that slow plays. And if you agree with me, awesome. We're on the same team. If you disagree, let me know what you disagree about. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share. If you haven't subscribed, hey man, what are you waiting for? Until then, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you guys.